with that type of world. It's one you know. So you end up possibly going to teachers who are elitist, narcissists, who have some element of condescension and conditional love. You have to be this way or that way to be loving, and if not, then what's wrong with you? What's wrong with you? That's the punitive parent mode. What's wrong with you? And kicking up the shame and the whole bit, and you can end up in a kind of a codependent relationship with those types of teachers. So I do recommend, generally speaking, Buddhist environments to learn in. Now, this does not mean that you're leaving your own religion for Buddhism. However, sometimes we do need to look a little further, and the Judaic and Christian religious traditions are based in love. Sophia, for example, is very much associated with the Hebrew tradition, and of course the tradition of Christianity is based on a person who was indeed highly tolerant and non-judgmental and powerful. It was not a codependent situation, and so we can love again. We must allow ourselves to love again, and we need exposure to loving environments, and those environments are people, essentially. And yes, you can actually find them on the internet. I'm just mentioning Joseph Campbell, for example, who taught mythology. Is on, for example, YouTube. You can find Joseph Campbell on YouTube, and you'll see a very sweet, a very generous, loving disposition in a man who's very knowledgeable about life itself, and there's a kind of a spirit that is driving a lot of his work. And of course, he was a teacher, and he does a very fine job. But we also find a disposition in him. He's leading us into a realization and a communion experience with this world. Now, I'm going to just mention dreaming about the communion experience and lucid dreaming to come to a little closer understanding of what we're missing here. When we dream lucidly, you realize you are the transcendent dreamer having a dream, but you're in that dream and things are happening to you. The thing about it is that in the dream, it is an anima mundi. Everything is alive in the dream. Obviously, it's all you. The walls, the light, the shoelace, the license plate, whatever objects, whatever people, whatever you see in the dream, it's all alive, it's all you, and that is an anima mundi. That is a world that is all alive. By the way, we then can begin, when you dream lucidly, as I did several months ago. I was dreaming. I noticed that I was dreaming. I was actually a character in the dream, and I turned to another character in the dream, and I said, well, now that I know that you're me, what does that tell me? So I did a crazy thing. I spoke to one of the characters who was me, and asked, well, now that I know that you're me, what am I to learn from this? And it's when you get to that point, you're breaking the mold a bit, and that type of event where we break free is helpful, and it's worth working for. And point now that I wanted to make about the communion experience is that this too, this level of consciousness in this outer objective subject-object world, for example, is indeed being dreamt. And well, the Hindus say it quite literally, that this is the well, not literally, because nothing is literal in this type of model, but they do teach that this is the dream of Brahman, the dream of God. And I must agree that you are indeed the transcendent dreamer. You are in your own heart, you are abiding inside yourself, and that self that you are is your environment. Even though this environment can be very brutal and cruel, it is indeed the self, and this is where we begin to bring down our judgment, becoming less judgmental, and recognizing also, as Joseph Campbell taught us, about the savage nature of existence. Life is a sacrifice, and we see it in the animal kingdom, and we see it in ourselves. If we notice, there's a tremendous amount of sacrifice that sustains us every week. The sacrifices of the life. What life? Well, the very life that you are. The chickens and the cows, for example, and the vegetables, for example, being sacrificed to sustain you. And we are in a sacrificial environment, in a sacrificial dream, so to speak. So I'm pointing to the communion experience and suggesting that we would be wise to begin to pray, realize that this is in fact a dreamlike circumstance, and that we can speak into this apparent objective field, and that it is you that is hearing it. So I encourage you to, if you will, and I put quotes on it, to pray. And its equivalents. Do not be in your private moments. I mean, certainly we're not going to do it publicly. However, to realize that this is all alive, and that it is you, and that establishing this relationship breaks you out of the mold by degree. You find yourself back in the womb of life. You are connected and sustained by benevolent love, by something or someone that is your very self, just like your mother carried you. You are, at one point, she was a plural. She was more than one person, but it was herself. We are our mothers, so to speak, and our fathers, and the world that we are living in. We are indeed the biosphere, and outside the biosphere too. We are that. We are manifestations of that singular existence that is all-powerful and all-pervasive and infinitely opulent. That is our life. And I'm encouraging you to realize that love leads you to this important communion experience. We need to think about the strategy of loving life before we can love our husbands or our wives or our children, for that matter. To think that you're going to love your child and be disgusted with life itself is deluded. We really need to reconcile our relationship with existence itself. If you're going to love something that exists, you will need to have common feelings for existence itself, which, by the way, includes you. So you're seeing this communion experience, this unification experience, and we find it in the contemplative states. Learning to be still, for example. Prayerfulness, the divine and holy environments, it can help. It can help. And we need a little coaching also to help us to become decentered, to break free of the personalizing of being you and me. This is not personal. Personalizing is impersonal. Everybody's doing it. You do it. We have a tendency to believe that it's you seeing and you hearing. You don't know how to see and hear. Well, you're doing it, but we do not know how it occurs, nor how we speak or move. We're constantly in collaboration with a higher power. Let us be wise enough to realize that this thing is sustaining us. It wants us to do well, because we are it. It's not going to turn on itself. It is very much like your mother. You are so close to her that she and you are essentially one thing. What mother am I talking about? I'm speaking about the Divine Mother, more so than the incarnated mother, because the incarnated mother can suffer trauma, can suffer betrayal, can doubt the love of her own child, even as you are now at risk, perhaps, of doubting the love of your own child. Get that idea? We are time-bound, functioning in a timeless environment. This thing is what it is. And so getting there, moving towards the communion experience, is important if we do it through ritual, through the spiritual avenues. That is a blessing. I would recommend that you proceed in that direction. We do need to begin to love nature more than love morality. This is a very important distinction. This tendency to go right and wrong as the bottom line, this is not helpful. Keep right and wrong, keep virtue. I think it's a wonderful and important element in our lives. We can't get rid of it. However, it is not the bottom line. The bottom line is that everything is this single, all-embracing, infinite being that is the source of love and unifies us in love. And again, I encourage all of us to try to remember this regularly, and to recognize that we do have amnesia, so to speak, spiritual amnesia, all the time. Well, it's been an interesting conversation, and I hope that you have seen the therapeutic benefits of this conversation. It is no doubt quite existential, and that is mindfulness-based anxiety reduction. It is indeed based on meditation and its equivalents. It is based in the communion experience that is highly associated, if not fully consistent, with love itself. And very wonderful speaking with you. Tune in again, and the book is on Amazon. It's Mindfulness-Based Anxiety Reduction. If you're interested, take a look. Okay, thank you so much.